I used to count the $20 bills every night, not because I needed the money, but because I needed proof. Proof that what was happening to me wasn't something I imagined on a bad day. Proof that my husband really believed this was fair proof that humiliation can be handed to you so casually, it almost looks like generosity. He would leave the bills on the counter like a tip, kiss me on the forehead if he felt particularly kind that day, and walk out to spend the evening with the woman he planned to replace me with. I was 7 months pregnant at the time. Yeah, that part matters, you know what I mean? To him, those $20 a day were support. To me, they were documentation. Each bill marked another day I learned exactly who I had married and, more importantly, how little he understood me. While he thought I was stuck emotional dependent and desperate, I was quietly preparing the most expensive lesson of his life. He just didn't know it yet. Let me back up for a second. My name used to be Claire Donovan. I married Marcus Hale 8 years ago. If that last name sounds polished, it's because it is. His family owned Hale Development Group, a real estate empire built on luxury towers and generational confidence. His mother, Lorraine Hale, was the real power. She never had a title, but she didn't need one. One look from her could end careers. One comment wrapped in a laugh could ruin reputations. From the moment I married into that family, Lorraine made it clear I was temporary. I didn't grow up wealthy. I didn't sound like them. I didn't move like them. At company parties, she'd smile sweetly and say things like, "Claire is so grounded." A refreshing break from ambition. People would laugh. I would smile, and I would remember every word. Marcus used to say I was too sensitive, that his mother just had a sharp sense of humor. I believed him because believing him was easier than believing I was alone. And for a while, things were fine. Or at least they looked fine from the outside. Then I got pregnant. And around the same time, Marcus met Julia Reed. She was hired as a strategy consultant, young, confident, efficient. She talked numbers the way Marcus liked. No pauses, no emotion. Within months, he stopped coming home on time. Within a year, he stopped pretending. When he finally told me he wanted a divorce, he said it like a business decision. Calm, polite, almost relieved. He moved me into a small apartment and told accounting to send me $20 a day for basic expenses. He said it made things simpler. He said, "You don't really need more right now, do you?" I didn't argue. I didn't cry in front of him. I just nodded and thanked him. That scared him more than anger ever could, because what Marcus never noticed was that the laptop I carried everywhere wasn't filled with parenting blogs. I had spent years investing quietly using a trust my father set up before he passed. I never talked about it. I never needed credit. By the time Marcus started his affair, my portfolio was already larger than Hale Development's annual revenue. And while Marcus was planning his wedding to Julia, I was planning something else entirely. The annual Hale Group Gala was coming up. It was Lorraine's favorite night of the year. Crystal chandeliers, black tie dress code, speeches about legacy and values. I'd attended every year, always seated somewhere polite but forgettable. This year, Lorraine made sure I wasn't invited at all. Or so she thought. The week before the gala, my attorney called me. "The acquisition is complete," he said. "You now own controlling interest." I didn't celebrate. I just placed another $20 bill on the counter and took a photo. The night of the gala, I arrived early. The ballroom smelled like expensive flowers and entitlement. The hostess checked her list and hesitated. "You're at table 23, she said softly. "Back corner, near the kitchen, exactly where Lorraine would want me." I thanked her and walked in. Lorraine stood at this entrance greeting guests like royalty. Marcus was beside her, Julia clinging to his arm, wearing jewelry I recognized from family photos I was never part of. No one noticed me take my seat. That was fine. I didn't need to be seen yet. Dinner flowed smoothly. Conversations buzzed. People whispered about the mysterious new investors who had saved the company from its recent financial slide. No one knew it was me. Then Lorraine took the stage. She always did. She spoke about family, about strength, about choosing the right partners. She never said my name, but she didn't have to. When she congratulated Marcus and Julia on their engagement, the applause was loud. Julia smiled like she'd won something permanent. Then Lorraine saw me. "Well," she said into the microphone, tilting her head, "this is unexpected. Claire, dear, I was under the impression you wouldn't be attending tonight. Your table seems quite far from the family section." The room shifted. You could feel it. People turned. Marcus froze. Julia looked confused. I stood up slowly. "I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be," I said. My voice didn't shake, but I think there's been a misunderstanding about who belongs where. I walked toward the stage. No rush, no drama. Marcus stood halfway. Julia grabbed his arm and whispered something sharp. He sat back down. "I own this company," I said calmly. The silence that followed wasn't polite. It was stunned. Marcus laughed, a brittle sound. "Claire, this isn't funny." "It's not meant to be," I replied. 3 months ago, Hale Development Group was acquired through a holding company. That company belongs to me. My attorney stepped forward with the documents. Lorraine's face drained of color. She tried to speak. Nothing came out. Every $20 bill Marcus gave me, I continued. I kept. Every insult. Every dismissal. I needed to know exactly who you all were when you thought I had no power. Marcus asked why I didn't say anything sooner. Why I let it go this far. "Because I needed to see the truth without masks," I said. And now I have. I announced the restructuring. Lorraine removed. Marcus retained conditionally. Julia's contract terminated, effective immediately. Julia didn't argue, she walked out. The jewelry stayed behind. Lorraine whispered that I had destroyed everything. "No," I said. "You did, I just stopped pretending not to see it." I left. 6 months later, the company was profitable again. My daughter was born healthy. The $20 bills were framed on my office wall. Not as revenge, as reminder. So here's my question to you. When someone shows you who they are, do you document it, or do you explain it away? Tell me in the comments. I want to know where you draw the line.